Yes, people, welcome all back to the channel. It's been a while, hasn't it? I had a look before I came live, and the last stream I done, would you believe it, was the Trent news. Back in, like, March. I'm an idiot. But I'm here now, because he's made his decision. The Rat has made his decision. And the Rat is leaving the football club. Before I get into it, and before I, lose my temper, and I'm sure some people in the comments will be very good at riling me up on this topic. If you're new here, you're not already, make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, you are turning on that notification bell so you don't miss any content. I can promise you that notification bell, that subscription, will actually be useful now, because I am going to be a bit more consistent with it. So, with that being the case, let's just get straight into it. Let's just talk about today. Now, today isn't a surprise. I think everyone kind of knew that Trent was going. It was kind of obvious that Trent was going. It's been in the works for ages. He only signed a 4-year deal. We've heard nothing all season. Yada, 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 whatever. But to see it actually come to fruition, it puts it into perspective, doesn't it? It puts it into perspective, and that perspective for me was he doesn't care. That video was shit. I watched the whole thing. It was shit. It just feels very forced, very AI, very sort of unauthentic. You know, there's never a good time to leave with the situation he's put himself in. And there's never a good way to leave with the situation he's put himself in. But this just felt a bit weird. This just felt a bit forced. This just felt a bit crap. Like, look, everyone knows where I stand on him. I don't know why you would want to leave. I have no idea why you would want to leave this football club at this point in time. We are Premier League champions. We are the best team in the country. We are one of the best teams in Europe. This is the pinnacle. Liverpool should be the pinnacle for any Scouser, whether you're top or whether you're like 6th. Trent Alexander-Arnold is playing in the best Liverpool team of the 21st century. He's playing in the best Liverpool team since the team of the 1990s, potentially. If not, you go back further to the 80s. This is the level of team we're talking. And Trent's just sort of throwing it all away to go to Madrid. It blows my mind personally. I just can't see why you would make that decision. He says it's because he wants to get a new challenge and this, that, and the other. Woo, such a challenge, Madrid. Oh, how will you ever win La Liga with Real Madrid? How will you ever challenge yourself at Real Madrid? Oh God. Look, he's made his bed. He's got a lie in it. He's not a legend, contrary to what people will say. He's not a legend. That ship has sailed. He cannot come back to the football club. I never want him to wear the shirt again. I don't want him to wear the shirt for the last 3 games of the season. I don't want him to get a farewell. I don't want him on the bus. I don't want him to come back to the football club in any capacity. The way he's handled the situation, the way his representatives have handled the situation, is nothing short of embarrassing. Back in March, back in February, back in January, I maintained a stance that annoyed a lot of people, where I was pro FSG on this topic, and believing that the football club would be doing all they can to keep Trent Alexander-Arnold, because for the way they run the football club, he's the most valuable asset. The football club keeps the most valuable asset. Comes out today, we offered to make him the highest paid fullback on the planet. We offered to make him one of the highest paid players in the Premier League. Considering the wages that we're seeing, that'll be 350 minimum, 350k a week minimum. We can comfortably sort of say that 350k a week minimum. So if we're looking at that, it can't be money. Financially, we are competitive. Financially, we are putting in the money and the value that Yeah, let me just. I'm trying to figure out which way this goes. I think it's that way. If that's loud, tell me. I'm just trying to figure it out. Right, it's this way. I've got it. Figured it out. Perfect. So, back to my point. We would offer competitive wages. We would do. We did. We have done. In terms of on the pitch, Liverpool Football Club have just won the fucking league at a canter with a squad that the manager doesn't even have his teeth sunk into yet. With a squad that the manager isn't a fan of, with a squad that the manager hasn't been able to imprint himself on. This is just the start. This is phase 1. And I don't like using phases because it's a bit tin pot, but this is phase 1. This is the first step of the process. And we're already winning league titles. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when the manager gets his players in? What's going to happen when other players at the football club have had time to develop in this manager's style of play? You're going to boom and boom and boom. That's what you're going to do. Step 1 is bringing your league titles. So, competitively, we are right there. Competitively, we are ambitious. Financially, we are ambitious. Ambition cannot be your reason. I will not hear ambition as the reason for him. No chance. Absolutely no chance. There is no way on this planet Liverpool Football Club are not ambitious. So then, why is he left? Bar the obvious hard-on he's got for Jude Bellingham, he wants to challenge himself in a different league, which is something that we'd never heard before, because just 3 years ago we said he wanted to spend his entire career at the football club. So what changed? I'll tell you what changed. His brother and his agents, one and the same, they wanted the moolah, they wanted the cash, because he gets a big signing on fee for going to Madrid, and his brother's able to pocket that. Trent has thrown away his entire legacy at this football club. His entire legacy at this football club is out the fucking window. Gone. Moot. Nil. Nada. Irrelevant now. Irrelevant. Means nothing. It means nothing. People were trying to say, oh no, he's still a legend. No, he's not. Legendary status at Liverpool Football Club is the highest honour you can have. We all might see legendary differently. For me, a legend is a top 20-25 player in your club's history. And that encapsulates everything it is. In everything it is. To be a legend, it's everything. Trent Alexander-Arnold, on ability, he's probably in that top 20. For the way he's handled this situation, he's fucking miles below it. You want me to put Trent Alexander-Arnold in the same category as the likes of Dalglish, Gerrard, Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, Hansen, Souness, Rush, Ron Yeats, Ian St. John, Roger Hunt. We're doing all this. I'm talking about some of the greatest players to grace English football here. Some of the greatest players to grace European football are legends at this football club. And you want me to put Trent Alexander-Arnold, a man who spat in our face and betrayed us at the first possible opportunity. You want me to put him in that same fucking level? Bullshit. McManaman's not there. Owen's not there. Trent's not there. Sterling's not. Yes, that's another one I forgot. Sorry, John Barnes, yes. Sterling's not there. Suarez isn't there. Coutinho isn't there. So why the fuck is Trent there? Henderson's not there. Henderson's not a legend. But Trent is. Come on, man. Let's be serious now. There is a chat that I do want to bring up, though, because I feel like it's been very prevalent today. Very, very prevalent today. Big ups, Ali A. I hate the rivals telling us fans how to feel. This has been bothering me since the news back in March, and my reaction to that and the canyon I got from that. You cannot tell Liverpool fans how to feel about this situation. You can't, because you're not experiencing it. Rival fans are speaking from a position of gross ignorance. They don't know the feeling. They don't know it. They don't. So them sitting there trying to be all high and mighty, you cannot tell Liverpool fans how to feel. You cannot tell Liverpool fans how to feel about the fact that their homegrown prospect, the guy they backed, the man who is them on the pitch, the scouser in the team, has betrayed us at the first possible opportunity. Because you know what else? Do you know what else I need to speak about? Something that was very... I can't remember whose article it was from. But they brought up the fact that Liverpool had never let Trent Alexander-Arnold's contract get to the last 2 years before. When it was 3 years, it was always a new deal. 3 years, new deal. 3 years, new deal. 2 years, new deal type thing. This was the first time his contract got beyond 2 years. And it was due to circumstances much bigger than him. At that point, after the loyalty that this football club, after the loyalty that this fan base has shown you, you'd expect a man of integrity, of honesty, of character, to have loyalty enough to trust the club and to back the football club and go, you know what, I understand you've got to fix problems upstairs, and I trust you that when it's done, we'll sort out my contract. Instead, the little fucking rat sat there and went, oh, I've not got a new contract yet. Come on, Real. Come on, Jude. Tap me up. Come on. Convince me. Little whore spread his legs for Madrid. It's embarrassing. I said it back then, I'll say it now. He fucking wishes we were shit this year. So badly wishes we were shit. Because he could leave and have a bit more protection. But the fact of the matter is, everything, and I mean every fucking thing, in the past month has gone against him. Mohamed Salah signing that new deal. Virgil van Dijk signing that new deal. Liverpool getting over the line and winning that Premier League title. The level of goodwill around the football club and the level of ambition that my football club is showing right now is far beyond what Trent needed to happen for him to get his idealistic and wonderful farewell where he can just scam and sneak out the back door. It's fucking embarrassing. He's pissed away what could have been a legacy as one of the greatest players in this football club's history. To go be what at Madrid? This is the thing. He best hope Madrid works out for him. He best fucking hope Real Madrid works out for him. Because there's a very real possibility that come 29, come 30, after 3 years at Real Madrid, where let's say it hasn't worked out as well because, you know, we've lied for how many years and said he can defend when he can't. But let's just say that in 3 years' time, it hasn't worked out in Madrid. At 3 years' time, he's looking to move on from Madrid. It's just not been great. The man will be 30 with no club that idolises him. You know how embarrassing that is? If Trent Alexander-Arnold, at the age of 30, leaves Madrid with no club that loves him, he has to go spend his 30s slumming it out on fucking Aston Villa or something. You understand how embarrassing that is? He's pissed away the legacy he's got here for Madrid to go win whatever at Madrid. I guarantee you he could win 4 league titles at Madrid and none of them would match the ones he's got here. I guarantee he could win 3 Champions Leagues and he wouldn't match winning it here. Why do I know that? Because the guy who did that, you know, left Liverpool, went to Madrid, won that shit, said it didn't feel right in McManaman. Look, I'll be there hate watching next year. I will be there when Barca, when Atleti, when Betis, when Sevilla, when Bilbao, when all these guys play Madrid. We will be there, people. We will be there. And the world can see. Do you know what it is? I cannot wait for that first El Clasico. The moment them handkerchiefs come out, it's curtains for Trent. If that man dropped that Manchester United performance this year because he couldn't handle the pressure and the scrutiny Fucking hell, he won't handle the games after the bad El Clasico where they're booing him. And they've got the handkerchiefs out and everything on him. It'll kill him. And God, he best hope. He best hope and pray with everything in his heart. He best hope and pray that we do not match each other in the Champions League. Lord, we best not match each other in the Champions League. Rio and Gamoa, hero ball on. Trust me, Rio and Gamoa, hero ball. Straight at him, time after time after time after time. Don't let him get up, just time after time after time after time after time. Kill him. Kill him. The crowd will kill him. Have Rio run at him time and again and again and again. We've had to edit training footage to stop leaking the fact that Rio is killing Trent in training. To protect Trent. Don't need to protect Trent now. Get me that footage going. I want that footage released this summer. Live leak settings. Live leak settings. I want that footage released onto the internet so I can watch Rio and Gamoa put Trent on his arse time and time and time and time and time again. That's what I want. That's bigger than a signing for me. I'll be honest, that's bigger than a signing for me at this point. Big ups, Liam, for the super chat. I appreciate it, mate. Trent seen the Cena heel turn and copied him. Yeah, but Cena's was done very well. Trent's hasn't. Trent's hasn't been done very well. Cena's is brilliant, apart from WrestleMania. But we'll bypass that for now. We've got Backlash next weekend. I'm praying that Randy Orton versus Cena goes off. So, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Trent, I'll be honest. He's not worth my breath. I've said my bit. You know, I had another stream a couple months ago where I'll just be rehashing everything I said there. I'm live with Hassam, Callum and Matt tomorrow, where this will be the main talking point, and you'll see me probably get a little bit more animated because it's A, not midnight, and B, on a panel with multiple people who probably disagree with me. What I am going to do here, then, is the other part of this stream. And are you ready for a very professional-looking setup, people? Are you ready for a very professional-looking setup? Let's see if I've got the right scene here. I've just been celebrating it, and it's on mute, for fuck's sake. I can't do it. Oh, no. I've done a Nunes. I've done a fucking Nunes. I've been through on goal, and I've blazed it over the fucking bar. I was celebrating the fact of how professional everything looked, and it's gone to shit. It's gone to shit. The moment's gone. The moment's gone, people. The moment's gone. The moment's fucking gone. Oh. You know how much I was celebrating that, you know? You know how long I've spent all day working on this? I've got another scene as well with like data and stuff, and it was going to be so good. The moment's gone. Anyway, back to my point. If you know how many running jokes there are. It is. You know what, Tiernan? It is. It's another thing he's at fault for. It's always Trent. It's always that little rat. Always. But we know it's a running joke now. Oh, Tom Little transfers would put us in Wickham. Tom Little transfers that was in the Championship. Tom Little transfers to do this, that and the other. Here, right now, I'm going to break down what I want us to do this summer, unequivocally, and produce my, probably more so, I'll do like a realistic and unrealistic one together, just off these names that I've got brought together. But if we're looking at the squad, you need to start with the squad that you've got. In goal, you got Kelleher and you got Alisson. Alisson is your number one, the best there is around. Kelleher, incredible number two, deserves better. For that reason, Queeveen Kelleher is not going to be part of the squad next season. He's not going to be part of the squad next season. Left back, Andy Robertson and Kostas Tsimikas. It's the two ugly sisters. But I've got to deal with one. For me, the one I'll deal with is Andy Robertson. Tsimikas has got more resale value. Robertson's deal is up next summer, so worst comes to worst, he gives me a badge as a backup. I'll let him go for free. Wonderful stuff. Centre back situation. Now this is where for the unrealistic one, you're gonna see Gomez go. For the realistic one, you'll see Quansah go. We'll start on the unrealistic one for now. Joe Gomez, 28, World Cup year coming. I'm sure he's gonna want to be playing week in, week out for the top team to try and get himself in that World Cup squad. For that reason, Joe Gomez is going to move on. Jarell Quansah can cover multiple positions. He'll be that backup option there. DM. Wataru Endo, whether he stays or goes, I don't know, but I don't think he'll be in the rotation next year. Curtis Jones will be staying. McAllister will be staying. Gravenberch will be staying. Harvey Elliott will not be staying. I feel that the lack of football he's had this year, and the fact that the role that we have in that system for that number 10, it just does not suit Harvey Elliott. And then we get to this situation. Gakpo, Diaz on the left. For the unrealistic one, I'm going to move on Diaz. Good resale volume. It's going to be 29 next season. You know, he's due a new deal, which I don't really want to give him. It's the time to move him on. Again, first one I'm doing, people, is the unrealistic one. Unrealistically, get rid of both of them. Nunes is a donkey, and Diogo Jota's not recovered from the injuries. And in terms of this one, I'm quite happy to keep both right wingers. Chiesa, got no problem with. And Mohamed Salah is Mohamed Salah. So, let's just move these back here. So, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sales. How am I going to address it? Well, we all know for sure that Mamardashvili is going to be the backup next season. And he goes. When we get to left back now. So my 4 options for left back are Carreras, Hato, Kerkez, and Ait Nouri. And now we ready, people? Are we ready for the... I'll probably be muted again, so I'll remember that now. You ready for the next part? Oh, look at it. I'm on the wrong player. But you know what? At least I'm not muted. Where's the left back? Where's the left back? There they are. Look at this. I've got all the data. I've got all the numbers here, people. Look, and we scroll down, and it's fantastic. It's almost professional, people. It's almost professional. But so, if we switch back again just real quick, my 4 options: Kerkez, Ait Nouri, Alvaro Carreras, and Uriel Hato. So this is Alvaro Carreras, the Spanish one. He's got a buyback clause for Man United for about 12 million quid. I know that Real Madrid are very quite interested in him as well. He is a winger, like a winger turned fullback type thing at Benfica. He's not my first choice, but as you can see here, don't necessarily use the bars for this one because it uses the wrong competitions. Use the numbers. We're averaging, 6.47 progressive passes, 2.82 progressive carries, over a take on a game. Defensively, just shy of 2 tackles, just shy of 1.5 interceptions, over an aerial one. In terms of the assists, maybe his assist total could be a bit higher, but his shot creating actions is pretty good for a left back. He is a guy who you'd be bringing in to be up and down that wing, up and down that wing, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Do I think he's the greatest defensively? He struggles a little bit in a one-on-one. But outside of that, I'm quite happy with him. But considering who I think the options are, he is, for me, my 3rd choice. The next one on my list is Uriel Hato. Now, the thing that sticks out with me here is he's 19. He is incredibly young. Which means there is a lot to work. He's very raw, but there's a lot to work with. There's an awful lot to work with here. If we look at this, his assist numbers are incredibly high, 0.21. That's because when he plays for Ajax, we've got this sort of inverted centre mid type setup with him. He gets in and around the penalty area an awful lot, which is also why the pass numbers are very good now. He attempts less passes than Carreras, but his pass completion percentage is demonstrably higher. He's one of the best passers in that position, but he's just very raw. Is what we've got to look at again. That's why you're seeing such a big disparity in these graphs here. You're seeing a lot of very big highs and a lot of very low lows. Aerially, he's incredibly strong for a fullback. Defensively, averages over 2 tackles, just shy of an interception, over a block, over 4 progressive passes per 90, just shy of 1.5 progressive carries. This is the kind of guy who is flexible enough to where he can go inside to form a back 3 or move into DM to form a 2-2 and build up at points. He's someone who is my second choice. He's my second choice. I look at him as someone who you work with for a couple of years. You bring him in, you have Van Dijk with him, you have Robertson with him, guys who've been there, done it, got the medals. They can help nurture his game. They can help adapt his game. They can help figure out the kinks and the weaknesses and help iron it out. I think Jarell Hato, if you can get him for a decent price, is a very interesting one to take a gamble on. Then we move on to Milos Kerkez, the guy who, for all intents and purposes, is Liverpool's number 1 target for the amount of reports and the amount of work we've done on him this season. And he is my first choice option. And his numbers aren't exactly these groundbreaking things, but again, what I'm going to say about this is you've got to look at the bars. The bars are different. Some, in terms of the goals, we can look up here. He's got 2 goals and 5 assists in the Premier League this season, which is why he's sitting pretty nice on the per 90 numbers there. His progressive carries are the highest we've seen so far, which to me implies that he is more of your Robertson type, who wants to get up that line, down to the byline, put crosses in. His reading of the game is very good with his interceptions, good clearance numbers. The tackles could be a bit higher. And the thing I will say about tackles is it's very dependent on team system. So I think if you come to Liverpool, there's a chance his tackle numbers could go to 2, 2.5, just because he's making tackles in different areas where he's allowed to be a little bit more aggressive. But if you're just looking as a general consensus, he's very involved in build-up by the looks of it there. He's involved in all phases. And this is what I will touch on. His expected assists and expected goals are quite low. XG is going to be low for a fullback. I don't think there's many fullbacks with very high XG. What I will say about him though is his expected assist numbers are low because of the crosses he puts in. Salah's expected assist numbers are low this season. He's got like 6 or 7 expected assists, and yet he's got near on 20 assists because expected assists is a flawed metric. It's a flawed metric. What you need to look at is Kerkez has got 5 assists this year. If I look at his assists, they're incredible crosses. That is the hardest skill there as a fullback. So if I'm looking at that, how can I try it? And I'm looking to translate that over to Liverpool. Would be you're putting in those crosses, but a lot of the time you're getting down to the byline and cutting it back. That to me seems like the way Arne Slot wants it to go. For me, it seems like Arne Slot wants to basically form a nice little circle around the box and have multiple avenues of putting the ball in the box or having shots from it. To me, Kerkez fits the mould that we need on the left-hand side for that. That's why he is my number 1 choice. And the final option, the guy who's made a little bit of a resurgence lately, in many people's eyes, is Ryan Ait-Nouri, the man from Wolves. And his numbers are just mega in terms of this. In terms of the percentile bars, his numbers are extremely, extremely good. He's in the top 12% for non-penalty goals. He's in the top 3% for successful take-ons. Top 11% for touches in the attacking penalty area. Top 20% for tackles. This is a guy who, if you're looking at this is a guy who's a fullback. This is a guy who's a wing-back, should I say. Not fullback, a wing-back. The amount he's involved in attacking-wise and how low interceptions are implies to me that he is high up on that pitch when they have the ball. When they have the ball, he's high up on that pitch. When they lose the ball, he's going straight into press someone. To To me, these numbers make out that he's very involved in the counter press. For me, he's my lowest option. The stats don't show. I've never been wowed by him defensively. I do think that a lot of his game comes from the fact that he's a wing back rather than a full back. How does that translate over to Liverpool? It's tough to say. If we bring him in and he tries to play like Trent, he can't afford to do that on the side he's on because Van Dijk's not going to cover in the way that Konate does. Therefore, I look at it like that and I go, I can't gamble on a left back whilst I'm unsure on how you fit in as a full back. If he was available for like 15 million quid, I wouldn't be shocked if we took the gamble on him, and I wouldn't be shocked if we tried to work on it with him, and we tried to sacrifice one or two players in other positions to help cover him initially. But for me, the way I look at it, he is my bottom option. It goes Kerkez 1, Hato 2, Carreras 3, and Aït-Nouri 4. And for that reason, when it comes to this board, Robertson is going to be moved to the backup, and we are going to get rid of Carreras, Hato, and Aït-Nouri, and move Milos Kerkez as my preferred left back choice. Now, centre back, I've only put 2 names in. I haven't seen many more names linked with us. It's Dean Huijsen and it is Mark Gahey. So, Dean Huijsen, first season in the Premier League. He's caught many people's eyes, scored on the weekend against Arsenal. As an overall package, he's been very good. And then you look at his numbers, and they are the amount of bright green you see in there is truly something. The pass numbers are a bit low, but that is a result of the system, and that is a result of the way Bournemouth have had to play at points this season due to injuries and stuff. So, looking at this, I'm seeing someone who is incredibly involved in the final third, someone who is very good at playing the type of ball you want a centre-back for a top team to play, which is a pushed pass through the lines, straight through. That's what Huijsen is very good at. Progressive carries, that's something that Matip was very infamous for. Huijsen likes to pick the ball up at centre-back and just run for a bit. Progress the ball forwards, through the lines, into the, in between midfield and defence, play a pass there. And defensively, his interception numbers are second to none. Very involved with clearances, wins a decent amount of aerials, good blocks. Tackle numbers are low, but most centre-backs have pretty low tackle numbers. Most of the time they're recovering the ball or they're intercepting the ball. They're not necessarily getting involved in tackles. If you're looking at this and you're not making him your number one option, I don't know what you're doing. And then you got Mark Gahey, a man who is potentially more available due to the fact that he has 12 months left on his deal, although Huijsen does have a release clause. Someone else who, set pieces, he's very involved, but everything else in terms of possession metrics, he's just not there. He's just uncomparable to Huijsen. The reason his tackle numbers are high is because Crystal Palace playing a back three. So at times, Gahey will effectively be playing as a fullback, going up against a winger. That's where you'll see tackles being made. But these numbers are underwhelming when you compare them to Dean Huijsen's of that. That's why so many clubs are after Dean Huijsen, and that's why Liverpool are so serious in making him their choice. And in regards to the will he play enough yet conversation, Ibrahim Konate does not stay fit. He doesn't. And we need to start resting Van Dijk in order to not kill his career. Huijsen's going to get games either there or there. So I don't see playtime being much of a problem in that case. Then we move on to right back because a certain he who shall not be named has decided he is leaving this summer. For that, we have 3 options in Vanderson, Arnau Martinez, and Luceriel Geertruida. I think I said it right. Now, Vanderson is the most traditional right back, should we say. And his numbers are very traditional right back numbers. You're seeing someone who, in terms of the creative side of it, is very involved. Shot creating actions are pretty high. Successful take-ons, such as the attacking penalty area, progressive pass received. That's someone who's sitting high and wide as a fullback. And his defensive numbers, They look exceptional. Top 6% for tackles, top 4% for interceptions, top 6% for blocks. He is if you were going to stick with a traditional right back, he is who you go with. But Conor Bradley is a traditional right back. I think for Liverpool, the dynamic needs to be on the right, slightly different than what it is on the left. On the left, I've got two of the same in Robertson and Kirkes. Both guys want to get up and down, up and down, up and down. I've got that on the right in Bradley. I can't have every fullback being that. So for that reason, Vanderson is number 2 for me. Vanderson number 2. Now, I don't know how many of you know about Arnau Martinez. He plays for Girona. He is, for me, even though the numbers don't say it here, the closest thing to Jurrien Timber. And if we look at Jurrien Timber this season, you look at Jurrien Timber and you're saying that's who Liverpool would really benefit from at right back. Liverpool would really benefit from having Jurrien Timber as a right back option. And even, Jurrien Timber's the most similar player to Arnau Martinez there. I mean, if I just grab Jurrien Timber's stats here and we're looking at them side by side, they are eerily similar. The tackle numbers are a little bit lower, but outside that, they are eerily similar. Because I feel Liverpool need a Jurrien Timber type of right back, for me, Arnau Martinez is the number 1 option. He's only 22 as well, just turned 22, so there's plenty of years in the tank for him. He's an incredible passer. Another one who's really good at them push passes. Someone who I'm all in on. I'm all in on. And then we get to the third choice, which is Lucharel Geertruida, a man who's played under Arne Slot at Feyenoord. This year he moved to Leipzig and has struggled a bit at Leipzig, which is why he sits at 3rd on my list. But when you look at his numbers for the fullback, he's another one of that Jurrien Timber type mould, but he's just a bit worse at everything. The thing he's got going for him is he has experience playing under Arne Slot, so he knows the way Arne Slot wants to play and what Arne Slot wants of his right back, but these numbers are pretty underwhelming, which is why for me, Arnau Martinez is my preferred choice as the right back rotation option for Conor Bradley. So, my new up defence is Alisson, Kirkes, Van Dijk, Konate, and Arnau Martinez, with Robertson, Quansah, Huijsen, and Conor Bradley as backup/rotation. Now we get into midfield, and you can see there's 2 spots in midfield left open. There's a need for a 6 and a need for a 10. So, the 6. What do I think Liverpool need from a 6? I think Liverpool, from a 6, needs someone who is incredibly capable at passing out from the press. I don't think Liverpool need this destroyer because we're not in situations where we are in transition, where a destroyer is needed to break up attacks. Liverpool, more often than not, are in a situation where we are the dominant team, but we've got to play out of a press. Teams are trying to, rough us up a little bit, try and put us off our game with a high press. We need someone who can sit basically in this area of the pitch, receive the ball off Van Dijk, receive the ball off Konate, and first time pass out to the right back, first time pass out to the left back, first time pass through the lines to one of the midfielders. That's what we need. And for me, there are 2 options for that. And they are Adam Wharton and Angelo Stiller. Now, Adam Wharton is my preferred unrealistic option. He is incredible at everything that I want my DM to be. Him on the ball, look, I'm just going to bring up this progressive passes one because this is the key stat I've been looking at when it comes to DMs. His progressive passing numbers in the Premier League for Crystal Palace are remarkable. The range of passing that he's got is incredible. Defensively, he's no slouch, averaging 2.5 tackles, 1.5 interceptions. That's someone who gets about a bit. But his passing is incredible. And you put him in a team like Liverpool, who are going to be on the ball a bit more, who are going to be a little bit more possession dominant, and you get to see him just have a little bit more time to pick these passes with smarter players making runs, you will see one of the best defensive midfielders on the planet. I guarantee you. The only worry is the price. He will be very expensive, and if you talk about price, Angelo Stiller is where you go. Now, there was a lot of reports today about Angelo Stiller, and I'm going to spoil something. When we get to my realistic team, Angelo Stiller is in it. He's the only midfielder I'm looking to sign in that team. You look at his numbers. This is baby Tony Kroos. This is baby Tony Kroos. Look at them progressive passing numbers. Look at them. Now, I apply a lot of Bundesliga tax. I'm not the biggest fan of the Bundesliga. But if you look at them passing numbers, he is in the top 2% of players who have played in Champions League, Europa League, or European top 5 leagues for progressive passes. He is incredible. He is so involved in the build-up. He is the metronome for which Stuttgart build their play around. The worry that I have is these numbers defensively, they're not great. They're not great. You would need someone who's going to pick up that slack defensively. You really would. You really, really would. Which is why I've got a second set of midfielders for me other option, which we'll get to in 10-15 minutes. He is one of the best players I've seen in recent years at breaking the press. He's one of the best players I've seen at dictating tempo. When you are playing against teams that are going to try and press you high, they're going to try and unsettle your midfield, Angelo Stiller is where you go. But this is my unrealistic one. This is the one where I've got plenty of money to work with. This man is going to be the best DM in the Premier League in 3 years' time. And that should be at Liverpool. So for that reason, I am buying Adam Wharton. And that completes my pivots. I've got McAllister and Gravenberch with Wharton and Jones. People can say what they want about Jones. I still think there's a lot to like about Curtis. So we move on to our 10. Now, there are options in the 10. For me, I think we all know where we're going to start. The guy who I hold to such an incredibly high level, Morgan Rogers. The numbers don't do Morgan Rogers justice. You watch Morgan Rogers, and he is the Lionel Messi of Oxlade-Chamberlain's. He is incredible. He is incredible. Unbelievable. I take so much joy from watching Morgan Rogers play football. So much. He is so strong. He's such a good ball carrier. He makes the right decisions a lot of the time in the final third. His off-the-ball work is incredibly good. And he's positionally versatile to where he can go left wing, right wing, attacking midfield. Morgan Rogers is a more technical Dominic Szoboszlai. And I quite like Dominic Szoboszlai in the 10, so I just want another version of him. That's what it comes down to for me. But my other options, one that people talk about a lot, is Ryan Cherky. I was thinking of Ait Nouri. He is a stat man's dream. Look at the amount of 99th percentiles he is. 99th percentile for assists, 99th percentile for expected assists, 99th percentile for progressive passes. Ryan Cherky, if you are after a pure creator, you go for Ryan Cherky. His creative numbers are remarkable. But this here is the biggest red flag for me. The biggest red flag. Mohamed Salah has openly admitted to not doing defensive work. And we make up for that with the fact that Dominic Szoboszlai covers that. Ryan Ait I nearly said it again. Ryan Ait fucking Ait Nouri's messing with me head here. This is why I don't want him. Ryan Cherky cannot play in the 10 for Liverpool if Salah's on the right. He can't. We are covering for too many players. We're covering for too many players off the ball. It's too much of a problem. which is why, for me, if Ryan Cherky was going to sign, he would be a right winger alongside Mohamed Salah, and you'd have different dynamics there. I just don't think Liverpool can accommodate Ryan Cherky. As good as them numbers are, as exciting a footballer as he is, I just don't think Liverpool can accommodate Ryan Cherky at this point in the 10. Out wide it could work. Out wide it could work because you'd just be doing what you're doing with Salah at the minute. But in the 10, I just don't think it works. Big ups Khalid Hussein, who says, check out Ismail Saibari stats. I'll do that for you right now, my friend. Saibari. Now, it's PSV, so I'm going to have to take an element of with it. But he's got 20 goal contributions in 26 games, which is pretty positive. Oh, my fucking God. Oh, my God. 99th percentile, 99th percentile, 99th percentile, 99th percentile, 99th percentile, 99th percentile. Oh, my God. And his defensive numbers aren't even that bad, you know. They're not too bad. Fucking hell, he's a stat man's dream. How much Eredivisie tax are we putting on this, though? Like, that's incredible. But how much of this is Eredivisie tax? I'll keep my eye on him, Khalid. I appreciate you bringing him to my attention there. I'll be keeping my eye on Ismail Saibari. Fucking hell, look at the amount of green, man. Oh, my God. But the final one, Alex Baena. Alex Baena. Now, he typically plays off the left for Villarreal, but I can see him being the perfect 10. And when you're talking about greens, you are talking about greens, baby. This is someone who I think is the nice little mix between Morgan Rogers and Cherky. He's not as physically good as Rogers, he's not as technically good as Cherky, but he is the right balance between the pair of them. Goal getter, assist getter, creator, shot creating actions up there. The passing numbers are but that's mainly because Villarreal play a lot of counter-attacking football. I know Atletico are in the driving seat for him, but when Liverpool knock, it's a different knock. When Liverpool knock, it's a different knock. Plus, if Baena goes Atleti, how are they paying for it? Is that the Alvarez money coming in? But look, Alex Baena is my preferred choice. He is. I think he's the ideal mix. I know the tackling numbers aren't great here, but that doesn't tell the full story because I've watched a lot of Villarreal this year. When Baena is played in the middle, he gets stuck in. He does get stuck in. If I compare his to Cherky, the overall defensive numbers look pretty similar. But this is where stats don't tell you the full story. For me, Alex Baena is a lot more involved defensively than Cherky. I see Baena track back a lot more. I see Baena get stuck in a lot more. That, for me, is why when we get to this setup, my number 10 is going to be Alex Baena. And that leaves that as a midfield rotation. And that, as a midfield rotation, is perfect. It's perfect in every way, shape and form. So now we get on to left wing. Now we get on to the left wingers. And for the left wingers, I actually only brought one option to the table today. Because I get the feeling there might be something in this. I know Lewis Steele said something today. I get the feeling there might be something in this. More than you think. Nico Williams. Now, when it comes down to who I would want, I have a big three for left wingers on this planet. Rodrigo, Barcola, Rafael Leão. They're the big three of players I would be after this summer. Now, I do worry. Leão, don't know if they'll sell. Barcola's not going to leave PSG. Rodrigo, I do wonder about the asking price. Nico Williams has the release clause. Nico Williams has apparently been playing with an injury this season, which is why his numbers are a little bit down. But we're seeing someone with 5 goals, 5 assists in 28 games. As someone who likes their wingers to have output, I'm panicking. Numbers-wise, though, he's pretty decent. he's pretty decent. And if we look here, in the similar players category, I'm looking at Rodrigo, I'm looking at Liam. The only one I'm not seeing is Bradley Barcola. I have a weird feeling there's going to be something in these Nico Williams rumours. I really do. I think if Luis Diaz gets that move to Saudi, we run. We run and run and run and grab Nico Williams. I really do, which is why in this situation, Nico Williams goes in. And then we get to up front. Up front, we need two options. We need a bagsman number 9, and we need a guy who's a bit of a complete little forward. Whether that be, you know, dropping in as a false 9 or moving out wide. So when we're talking about pure and utter bagsman, I'm looking at 5 options. I'm looking at 5 options, people. And we are going to start off with option numero 1. Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak. How fucking good is he? How fucking good is Alexander Isak? He is the dream option. He is the dream 100% killer bagsman on this planet. He is. And if I could get him, I'd get him. But I do think Newcastle are going to get top 4. And that's going to scupper that one. Next up, Julian Alvarez. Maybe not as much of a bagsman as Alexander Isak. But he makes up for that in his midfield and his link-up play. Probably the closest thing available at the minute to the strikers of old that we used to run with in the likes of Bobby Firmino. Victor Osimhen. Available for 50 million quid. Another pure goal getter. Another pure goal getter. And he's good in the air as well, which, considering we're looking at the amount of balls in that Mohamed Salah's putting in, and the amount of crosses that Gakpo's putting in, having this man on the end of them with his 24 goals and 5 assists in 27 games. Now, we are having to apply a big amount of tax on that because it is the Super League, but we saw what he could do the year Napoli won the Scudetto. If you can unlock that again, you've got a top striker there. Matteo Retegui, the man I've been on about, the man I've been harping on about. Top scorer in Serie A this year, 24 goals, 7 assists in 33 games. Someone who is another pure bagsman. Scores goals aplenty. And in the build-up play, he has been getting better as the season's gone. He's been more involved. He's been getting more assists. I think he's a bit of a wild card option. Matteo Retegui is someone that people can't be ignoring. He's a bit of an option people can't be ignoring. People hear the name and they scoff at it, but Matteo Retegui, the Argentine Italian, he's something truly special. And I think that whatever team gets him, they've got a top striker for a couple of years for like 5, 6, 7 years on their hands. And the final option, Victor Gyökeres. We talk about Statman dreams. Thanks to the fact he's in Portugal, he is a stat man's dream. He has scored 38 goals in 31 games in the league this season, with 6 assists to go on top of it. By all intents and purposes, he is the purest goal scorer on this list. My worry is, how does the Portuguese league translate over to the Premier League? Because a certain number 9 from Uruguay has forever tarnished that league for me. Darwin Núñez has done more damage to the reputation of the Portuguese league in my eyes than ever. He has done. I can't look at players from the Portuguese league in the same way. Because I panic. I think I'm getting Núñez 2.0. I just imagine them with fucking man buns and I panic. So for that reason, in my wonderful dream ideal 11, My bagsman, my pure goal getter, it's pretty obvious. It's Alexander Isak. And my list is Isak 1, Alvarez 2, Retegui 3, Gyökeres 4, Osimhen 5th. And then we get to the rotation striker option. And I've got 3 guys for this one. And you might not know of them. Evan Guessand from Nice. He is someone who I have a lot of stocks in. I think he has the potential to be one of the best link-up, like false 9, complete forward options in the world. I think he's incredibly good. Defensive numbers are ridiculous, but that is because I'm on the wrong category. If I put him into forwards, all of a sudden we start seeing what we're looking at. His numbers, when we compare them with forwards, are utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Very involved in the build-up, good at carrying the ball forward, good at beating his man, decent with passing, but his pressing numbers from the front are remarkable. And goal scoring wise, he's no slouch either with 11 and 31 for a Nice team that aren't necessarily playing through him as the main guy. I think Evan Guessand, for the price you could potentially get him for, is someone that has to be considered. My next choice, Mohamed Amoura from Wolfsburg. Now, Wolfsburg have been especially bad this year. And yet Amoura hasn't let that affect his game. Now, Amoura's problem is, it doesn't say here, Amoura's 5'6". So this category is a bit fucked. But as a footballer, I like a lot of what Mohamed Amoura does. He's comfortable out wide on the left or up front. And when it comes to link up, he's incredibly quick, he's incredibly skillful. Sometimes a little bit too quick for his body. But I see someone there with an awful lot to like. And when we're looking to buy this rotation striker, the guy to come in and drop in and create alongside whoever we've got, these are the kind of guys I think you need to be looking at. And the only other one I've got, which is not necessarily going to go down well, and I don't think he makes either of my squads, but I have to talk about him because of links. Antoine Semenyo. Now, Antoine Semenyo's defensive numbers are very good, and Antoine Semenyo has a lot of shots. But Antoine Semenyo doesn't necessarily fit into this team at this point, which is why the reports and that confuse me a little bit with where we're going to go with him. It does confuse me just a little bit. But for me, it's between Evan Guessand and Mohamed Amoura. And I like both of them. Both of them are incredible options for that role. But for me, I'm going to give the nod to Evan Guessand. And that, for me, is my unrealistic dream squad for Liverpool next season. My unrealistic dream squad for Liverpool next season is Alisson as the number 1 with Mamardashvili as the backup, Kerkez, Robertson, Van Dijk, Kwanzaa, Konate, Huijsen, Martinez, Bradley, Jones, Wharton, Gravenberch, McAllister, Baena, Szoboszlai, Chiesa, Salah, Williams, Gakpo, Guessand and Isak. That team goes back to back. That team runs 100 points mighty close. That team makes semi-final of the Champions League, if not final. And that team is not only great in the immediate setting, but long term, boom, it's gonna go as well. It's gonna go as well. But I mean, that's there for that. But I did say I was going to do a bit of a realistic one as well, didn't I? I did say I was going to do a bit of a realistic one as well. So, let's get this here so I can just reset this. It is in... Where is it in? There it is. Just so I can reset it and bring it back up. We've now got what I think is more likely to be a realistic one this season. Some. You're not going to see the stats again because I've done all that. A realistic one. Kelleher's going to go. Tsimikas is going to go. Quansah is going to go. Endo is going to go. Nunes is going to go. This is what all I think you have to work with. Potentially Jota goes as well. But that's like up in the air. And I do think Elliott decides he wants to stay and fight for his position. So, I do think one that will carry over is Kerkez. I think we've done too much groundwork on Kerkez for it to not carry over. I do think that one's going to carry over either way. Same centre-back, I think Huijsen will carry over as well. And now, this is where it gets a bit... I wouldn't be shocked if we had Gomez basically covering two positions. I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't be. I really, really wouldn't be. If we had Gomez doing right back and centre back. That worries me. And I'm going to have to leave him there for now because I think that's a very realistic thing that could happen. We've seen this football club try and cut corners before. I wouldn't be shocked if they try it again. DM, as I said, it's going to be Angelo Stiller. I think as an option on the market, he is incredibly, incredibly promising. An awful lot to like about him. And then up top, who do I think is the realistic option up top? Not going to say realistic-ish. Realistic-ish. Gyökeres. You've not got me doubts about him. I wouldn't be shocked if we looked at just the pure level of output and went, we'll take a gamble on that. Ideally, it would be Alvarez. But I wouldn't be shocked if this is what our squad end up looking like next season. 4 signings. You know, maybe even a 5th. Maybe there's another centre-back, another really young centre-back that you like the look of. But I'm looking at 4 signings. And that's what we have to work with. The only other thing I could see us doing is we do sell Elliott and we bring in one of Baleba or Kamara and push Jones up into a 10. And just for argument's sake, I'll do Baleba because we do need to spend some money in this squad. That's the only other way I could see a realistic one going. Baleba and Stiller, because Baleba's defensive numbers are remarkable. Stiller to be the playmaker who you build around. You keep your left wing options the same. You bring in Gyökeres up top and stick with him. You keep your right wing options the same. You 10. You free up Jones a little bit and you stick with Szoboszlai. I wouldn't be shocked if this was more of the realistic side of things that we're looking at. But people, I've done over an hour. I've actually quite enjoyed this. Makes me wonder why I don't stream more. So, you know what? I might well do another stream at some point this week. Who knows? But I'm going to love yous. I'm going to leave yous. If you're new here, not already, and you've enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, you turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any more content. I am live with Hussam and Kopish tomorrow at, I think we're starting at an earlier time of 1:15, just so we can talk about what's it called, the Trent situation. Obviously I couldn't remember his name. I couldn't remember the rat's name. So 1:15 tomorrow, people. Make sure you remember that. We are going to be there. I'm going to be fighting everyone. And I will be live at some point soon again. I've really enjoyed this and I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the people in the chat who sat there and watched this. Much love, everyone. Love yous, leave yous. This is going to redirect you over to Big Six Bants. So make sure you go show everyone my love there. Big ups, everyone. I will see yous all tomorrow.